To have my Jewel Mack. Jewel, welcome to the stretch.
Thank you. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I tell you, I am so excited about you being with me because I know, you are the first that I have that I'm going to interview today about International Women's Month. But more importantly, Joe, I find your life to be so intriguing. You are the entrepreneur, you're the traveler, you are the mentor, you are so many different things to so many people. I know you're a businesswoman, you're a mentor, and most importantly, you're a woman of God. And I tell you, um, tell us, you have so much packed. Okay,
Thank
I would
you.
say you are the full package, really, no doubt. But
Thank
tell
you.
us, really, who is Jewel Mack?
Wow, I think that's such a loaded question. But like you said, Latonja, I'm a woman of God. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a mentor. Jewel loves to have fun. I love to pour into not just teenagers, but also other women, other men. I love to pour in to people. So, I am that encourager as well. I love to cycle. So I'm a cyclist. I have
Mm,
recently completed my first triathlon, so that makes me an athlete now. Um, so I am all of those things that I enjoy doing.
that's awesome. And tell me, when you talk about, I think you've ran a marathon. You mentioned that you're a cyclist. Yeah, absolutely, an athlete, and it's amazing. What inspires you to do all of that?
Whew, so that's also a loaded question there. So growing up, I'll give you a little brief story.
Okay.
Growing up, seeing my parents who did not work out, did not exercise, did not do all of the things that I am doing. I am the first of a lot of things in my family. So seeing them be on medications and having high blood pressure, you speak things into yourself when you become a child, right? And you take those things sometimes into adulthood, whether they're positive or negative. So I always said, I am not going to be an adult and be on all of these medications and be sick or have to take all of these drugs to stay well.
Mhm.
So, and I don't knock people. I am in medicine. I don't knock people who have to do that, but it also starts with your lifestyle. And in order for me to abide by that, my lifestyle has to be about that, right? And so in college, so I've always been kind of the overweight girl, other than like probably about 10 or 11, I kind of just blew up. I used to get bullied, I used to get teased. And so when I got into college, I kind of learned just a little bit about how to work out. And then as I started meeting people who worked out, I just became more interested in working out and doing all the things that keep you healthy. I'm very big on health.
I love that. I love that. And speaking to the bullying, wow, I would
Yeah.
have never imagined that. I would have never imagined you saying that you were the big girl, but I don't know. How tall are you, Jewel?
5'7".
Okay, so I'm 5'8", and I've always been the one who has wide shoulders. But I guess like you, back in my days, I was an athlete as well, so I kind of was always working out back in those days. But
Mhm.
I think it's even more important, like you said today, that we're more conscientious of our health, given the fact that, we don't want our family, we don't want our children, at least my children, I don't want them having to, take care of me now when I can just do what I need to do now. Speaking to that health, some people say health is wealth. What's your take on that?
I do believe that health is wealth. The more healthy you are, the more wealthy you are most times. So if you're sick all the time, how are you going to work? How are you starting a business? If you're not taking care of yourself, how are you doing all the things that you're purposed to do without feeling exhausted, without feeling hung over every day, without always feeling tired? And we blame it on the work day when it's really about the things of our health.
So true.
Mhm.
Yeah, so true. And you were going to say what else? What were you going to say quickly?
Stress, like stress is a huge thing. Most people think, oh, I'm stressed out. They don't understand how to combat stress management, but it also starts with your health and how healthy you are as well.
Mm. Sure. That's a huge one right there, Jewel. When I think about stress, and I think a lot of women in particular deal with a lot of stress because I hear a lot of women saying today that they deal with anxiety a lot.
Mm,
Can you speak to that at all? I think, when I say anxiety, I mean being very anxious about, what's going on around them. There's so many things already happening in the world, and there's so many things women in particular aspire to do, but they won't do it because I think sometimes when you mention stress, now that I think about it, we sometimes bring that anxiety on ourselves.
right.
Maybe I would have, like when I talk to you about the traveling, I'm not like getting on planes, but I think about the anxiousness that's going to happen prior to, and I'm like, okay, I'm a Christian. I have faith to get on this flight, provided that my faith is probably 4 hours max. Okay, so I
And
think
that's
about that.
okay.
And speaking to the stress level, I know I'm not the only person who feels this way, but we're talking into things, that most people don't want to talk about, but they definitely need answers too.
Right. And as you were talking about anxiety, God is so good. But the Holy Spirit just put into my mind anxiety comes from fear,
Yes, it does.
fear of the unknown, right? So when we're anxious, it's because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what this is going to be. And so, even as women who walk with Christ, we're not supposed to fear, even though we do. And so then we cause ourselves to be more anxious in the unknown.
Yeah, very anxious. And also to just thinking too deep into something that's not even going to happen. I remember years ago, the late Robin Gould said, "If you're not careful, the very thing that you fear, you will draw to yourself." And that's the last thing. So I think sometimes we've created something that didn't even have to happen, that didn't even exist, out of fear. So you're right.
Yeah.
I think, what do they say? Fear is what is it they say? FEAR. What is that? uh Things that we fear, we really, gosh, I can't remember what the acronym stood for. It'll come back to me for sure.
Okay.
um
I don't
but
remember.
faith, something about false evidence appearing real. That's what it is.
Oh, I don't think
False
I've heard
evidence
that. Okay.
appearing real.
I
Yeah.
like
And I kid you
that.
not, yeah, I mean, because it is false. um
Right.
but we can think too deep into something that can take us places where we could have been. I could have been in Dubai by now. I never
Girl.
know. So, so
We're gonna
speaking
start
of
small.
Dubai,
Start small though. Start small.
I know we're gonna start on small increments. So speaking of Dubai, as you being a traveler, what was that experience like?
You said we only got 30 minutes. Oh, okay.
I know, right? Wow, that's awesome.
It was probably the best experience trip that I've ever been on. When they say Dubai is the safest country in the world, oh, they were for real about that. Like, of course, humans are humans, right? So
Mhm.
still encountered some negative things from people, but they're very cultural out there. They believe in their God. They're Muslims, so they believe in their God, but they uphold the principles of that, of being good to everybody despite even being angry. Um,
Mhm.
so people were good to us the whole time. But when it came down to, if we didn't like something about our food, okay, we'll take it back and make you more. If we said no, 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 we're gonna take it back and make you more. We want to make sure
Yeah.
you're happy. We want to make sure that everything is good.
Hmm.
That the entire time we were there, the people were nice, the country was beautiful. Like the architecture, I should have went to architecture. Can I start off
Wow.
with going to
I know,
architecture?
right? Yeah.
The
Amazing.
buildings were
Beautiful.
beautiful. Oh, we had the best time. When I got home, I was like, I'm back home. I'm not in Dubai anymore.
Not in Dubai anymore. And that had to be quite an experience. I mean, I guess the beauty of it all, right?
Yes, yes.
How long does it take to get there, Jewel?
Along the so I yeah, that's why I said start small. So
I think
I
I'll
flew
start
into
small. Hmm.
start small. Mhm.
Okay.
I flew into JFK. From JFK to Dubai was a straight flight. So going was 12 and a half hours. and coming back was a 14.5-hour flight. And then I still had to get home back to Charlotte.
Okay. Anyway, I think that's still awesome. I love the pictures. I saw a beautiful picture of you,
Thank you.
And you and some of the ladies that went with you, where you took the pictures with the flowing dresses. That was just so elegant. I absolutely loved everything about that. Now, let's talk about Jewel, the entrepreneur. I have been blessed to purchase some of your shea butter. I'm still using it to this day, but I know you do more than just that. Let's talk, let's speak to the entrepreneur, and also let's talk and speak to those who aspire to do entrepreneurship. What does that look like from your point of view?
Yeah, so the crazy thing is that I never aspired to be an entrepreneur. I like my mom, and maybe she sowed the seeds. My mom had all the businesses. She did all the things. And I was like, girl, you go ahead, girl, you do it. I'm okay over here working with somebody else, getting this retirement and this paycheck.
That's it, right?
But when God has other plans for you, it doesn't matter what you aspire or don't aspire to do, because when you move in obedience, he just opens up so many doors. So, my first real business where it's my baby, and it's my health coaching business, and it's where I teach women how to be more healthier. It's not necessarily about losing weight, but it is about being healthy physically and mentally. So I've had the opportunity to help women lose weight. I've had them to help, the opportunity to help them kind of get out of themselves, get out of their own way to be more physically and mentally healthy. So as a subsidiary of that, then I decided, I love using body butters. Toxins, if you know anything about toxins, they're around us all the time. So I'm a holistic health coach. So I believe in getting toxins out of your system as much as possible. You can't help the toxins you breathe in, but you can help the toxins you put in. And that's what I say. Yep.
Okay. And I like that, Jewel. I like that. And you were going to say, what else were you going to say?
So everything you put into your body is by choice. Even, and that includes medications, right? Because medications are toxins as well. And so that's what prompted me to start my own natural product line. I was using other people's body butters, all the little good, smelly, good Bath and Body Works, and putting all of those toxins into my body. So that's kind of what prompted me to start and aspire to start my own businesses. Was it scary at first? Absolutely. And I asked God, what if I don't make the sales? What if I don't do this? But God is not a God of what ifs.
No, it's not.
Of be obedient and I'll bring whatever you need. And that's exactly what he's done.
I love that.
Yeah. It was just about taking that first step, right? And not particularly caring so much about the outcome, but about the people that I touch by what I'm doing. And I remember, and I'm going to tell you this, one of my girlfriends, when I started my health coaching business, I think I started off with 2 or 3 people. And I said to her, I was like, I just don't have a lot of people. She said, are you numbers building or are you kingdom building? I'll never forget it.
Wow. And that's a very good question. And that's a very good point, because, as believers, that is the question. I know for me, I even had people ask me some time ago, do you know? I think when they asked back in the day, more importantly, when I used to do radio, what is your listenership like? And I said, well, if I were to tell you, we have millions of listeners, I said, I don't know. But I said, I've met quite a few people that have told me they knew my voice. So I said, I've learned that, my goal is to give God the glory with what I'm doing. And out of what I'm doing, many have come. And then out of nowhere, a friend of mine sent me some kind of, it was like an algorithm of the actual streaming and everything. Come to find out, I wasn't even taking count, because I said, I do this as unto the Lord. But moving forward, it was an interesting situation, because they brought it to me and it was showing we were in the Netherlands, we were in Tokyo, Japan, we were we were all over the place. So many different countries that listen. So now, I said, Lord, I just thank you, because I just do what you called me to do. And I think that's what I hear you saying, is that, we just do what we're called to do, and God will do the rest.
That's right. Absolutely. All the time he will. Mhm.
Yes. So we're going to shift a little bit because, you're a mentor, and again, the full package, right? And as we're celebrating, International Women's Month, some people say International Women's Day, but I mean, Jewel, you do so much. And with mentoring girls, I remember you've had some opportunities to mentor girls. I know you also are doing some cycling with some ladies, and you all get that opportunity. Y'all look really good, by the way. And, so that's exciting too. And, from the athletic side. So also too, but going into the area of mentoring, I want to ask you, what inspires you to want to inspire young girls?
Whew. So I've been mentoring since I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
So growing up, being a bullied child, growing up in all Black schools where fighting was like eating breakfast, pretty much. Like
Okay.
there's pretty much you're gonna have to defend yourself in some way
Okay.
on most days.
Okay.
And so I remember, and it's something I'll never forget. This is what I mean by you sow things into yourself as a child. I always said to myself, I never want to grow up and another young girl go through something that I'm going through and not feel like they had anybody, because I didn't feel like I had anybody to talk to when I was going through just my teenager stuff, anything that a teenage girl goes through. I wanted to ensure that some other teenage girls had someone that they can go to talk about those things. Not necessarily to tell them what to do, not necessarily to be their mother, but to say, you have somebody in your corner that can lead and guide you the right way. But at the end of the day, it's still your choice.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thinking back to our teenage years, sometimes we forget to reflect back on what that actually looks like.
Yeah.
And, yours in particular was bullying. And God only knows what many of us, our backgrounds can speak to, not necessarily bullying. It could speak to something else that was a hardship.
Right.
And like you said, not having somebody, now when you mention that, what comes to my mind is the fact that I remember my sister and we were latchkey kids. So my mom and my dad, he worked midnights, but I think my dad was just always gone a lot, but my mother was the worker. So I just know when we got home, it was just she and I might be the first person at home, but I just think back to being a latchkey kid and saying to my mom, I don't like the fact that we come home alone. And she was like, we're going to try to work that out. But I remember that, and I didn't like that.
Yeah. I can imagine that was hard.
And I'm saying that on the lighter side of things.
Right.
And the reason why I say that it like that is because I know so many more young people have dealt with so much worse than that are unspeakable in some cases, Let's speak to Jewel, if you were still that, I guess we could speak to that 10-year-old, that 12-year-old, what would you say to the young 10-year-old Jewel today? If you were to encourage her today, what would you say to that young girl today?
Be more confident in who you are today, because you don't even know what you're about to do later.
So true. Yeah, they don't know what they're about to do later. And I kid you not, I think about, because I do have a burden for young girls myself, and I haven't embarked upon the nonprofit like you're working on. Which, can you speak to that nonprofit? What you're doing?
Yeah. So my nonprofit is called Renewed Mentoring for Girls, Incorporated. And when I started my nonprofit, so I would do e-groups and groups of young girls in my church and things like that. And I remember when God said, you're going to start a nonprofit. And if he had been sitting in front of me, I probably would have turned my head and said, who are you talking to, Lord?
Right. I'm not doing that. Right.
I am not doing that. So I am an introvert by nature. Like, it takes a lot of energy for me to be extroverted. So my little introverted self is about to go and start something that I have no idea how to do. I don't know what it looks like. So when he told me, I was like, Lord, like, what is happening here? So he
Like
took
that.
me in baby steps, though. He really did. So it was just, let's come up with the name and let's just go ahead and file with the state. Don't do
Mm-hmm.
anything. And for 6 months, I sat on a name as he gave me vision of what that nonprofit looked like. And it was where I was trying to come out of the mentoring realm so much and just run the nonprofit, but
Mm.
COVID, it ended up not working that way. But I brought on volunteers who were mentors and I paired them with young girls. So of course I started in my friendship circle because everybody has teenage girls
Yeah,
and they're
right.
ready to kill them. They're going through puberty, they're going through all of the changes that young
Yes.
girls go through. So they was like, we're gonna give them to you because I can't deal with them. So I
Mm-hmm.
paired them with the mentors. We would have training sessions, we had group sessions. So we did all of those things. And now my nonprofit has kind of taken a different turn to where now I'm saying, okay, Lord, post COVID, even though COVID's still here, but post COVID, what does this look like now? And so I've actually started going into some of the schools and doing girl groups and mentoring girls on life skills and purpose and things like that. And I'm also now in school for my master's in mental health counseling so that I can have a chance to focus on family counseling with a focus on teenage girls.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. And see, I love what I'm hearing because it's evolving,
Mhm.
it's growing, and also too, you're shifting
Yes.
into something, and more so not only that, but you're collaborating with others,
Yes.
and you're
Lots of that.
using not only your education but also your gifts and your calling as a means to, and then where it's inspiring. Not to mention, is it inspiring? It's also something where you're also. I love how you said you were pairing up
Mhm.
the young girls with other people, so you didn't make it just about Jewel.
Absolutely
You
not.
made it about opportunities for other people, which is through that partnering, and also too. I love how you talked about you were an introvert,
I
and
still am an introvert.
so anyway, I love that, and I do see and I do hear that, and I think that that's so inspiring too. Because I'm gonna tell you something, I am an extrovert, but
Mhm.
even though I'm an extrovert, I'm an introvert in other areas
Ah,
that
mhm.
a lot of people wouldn't say. They would say, no, not like, no, really, there's certain parts of me that are
Yeah.
introverted. So I think that's interesting that even an introvert can do many, many things. And I love how you are also good at delegating the opportunity. That speaks to so much. So when we're talking about, International Women's Day, when you hear that, Jewel, out of all of the things that we as women are doing, coming and going and working and moms, and there are some stay-home moms out there. There are a lot of single women out there, entrepreneurs. Those are having an easy time, making a lot of money, doing a whole lot of awesome things, traveling the world. And then there are those who's like, when is my time ever going to come? What
Right.
do we say to them, Jewel, that aspire, that, I use that word very carefully, but I want to say they want more. And
Mhm.
I know my mantra, what God gave me, because I'm not big on New Year's resolutions, but
Right.
God did give me momentum for more in 2024.
Mhm. Right.
So, with that being said, can you encourage the young ladies out there today? I mean, from the youth that you speak to all the way up into even a woman your age or even mine. I'm not going to tell you what that is. But anyway, but with that being said, I kid you not, somebody needs to know that this is all possible for them, even when they see that they lack so many things that they may not really lack.
Right. So first I want to say, as we empower women on today, for women to stop saying there are not any good women friends out there. Y'all, I prayed for friends. I asked God to send me some really good friends in the midst of COVID. Even though I had friends, I felt disconnected from so many different people. So even as an introvert, I have to feel connected to people. And God did exactly what I asked him for. Due to my introverted personality, I'm also not cliquish. So I have several different groups of friendships, and I
Me
also
too.
spend time with all of them equally, right? They're all equally good friends. They're different friends to me in different type of ways, but
Yeah.
I trust them all equally with my life. Um,
You're right.
and so you have to find you a good group of girlfriends. That's how it starts. Find girlfriends who are where you want to be or who are doing things that you want to do. Are all of my friends starting businesses right now? Absolutely not. I have girls that I cycle with. I have girls that I do business with. I have girls that I just hang out with. I have girls that I travel with. They all play their role, but they're all good friends. And I think that's where it really starts off. Is that scary to begin trusting other people? Absolutely. But you have to start somewhere because I tell people I have some bout it friends. Like they are doing some major things in the
Yeah,
world.
that's right.
And I'm connected to all of you. Like
Mhm.
it amazes me at the different things that we're doing, but we can all bring it together to uplift each other and support each other.
Oh, Jewel, I love that. And that's so true because that creates balance. I do the same thing. My mom taught me years ago. She used to say the friends that you go get your nails done with are not the same ones you go hiking with.
Yep.
There's a variation. And I love the book by Darius Daniels that talks about relational intelligence, where
Mm-hmm.
he speaks to the different tiers and the different dynamics of relationships as friends.
Yep.
And I just love that. And I'm very big on that too. I have what I call my core circle of friends.
Yes. Yep.
And then, of course, I have those, and all of them I do as well. Trust with my life. Their names are on my refrigerator if something should go wrong, you know. And it's so funny when one comes by, it's like, well, why my name isn't up there? Well, your name is on something else, okay? Okay, you just not relax, okay? So, but it's amazing because that's so again, that's healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's
Very
healthy.
healthy.
And I thank you. And as we close, Jewel, what is considered to be your next?
Ooh, I have some really good next coming up. But as I finish out school, I have about a year and a half left in school. So that really has been the priority for me. Like I've had to cut so many things back just so I can finish school. Um, and so I'm debating on opening my own mental health practice or, going up under someone first. But, my next is going to be starting to be a mental health counselor. Now I plan to keep my full-time job as well and do that on the side
Mhm.
because I believe in retirement and benefits of retirement that companies offer.
Yes.
We want all the
Here,
benefits.
here. I want it all. I ain't gonna
We
lie.
want
Yeah.
it all.
Mhm.
So, really just learning more about counseling, counseling girls and women and people into freedom. Um, I want people to be free from themselves. Like we just don't even understand how much we're a hindrance to ourselves.
Without a doubt. So, and that's so encouraging, Jewel. I mean, all I can say is, wow. And the reason why I say wow to all of that is because I know there's so much more to look forward concerning you. I am excited about having you with me today. I can't thank you enough for being here on the stretch. Those of you who see my website at the bottom, it does not work currently. So don't bother. But what we are asking today is that you will subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is The Stretch with Latonja. Jewel, do you have any last words for today?
Just as you get ready to do different things, this is my motto: do it afraid. Do it afraid and expect the suddenly that comes with that.
Amen to that. Everybody, this is Jewel Mack. Okay, don't forget that name. Jewel, did you have a need where people can reach out to you concerning the mentoring?
Yes, so you can email me at www.renewed, RENEWED, mentoring@gmail.com. Oh wait, hold on, that didn't sound right.
That's okay.
Renewed mentoring@gmail.com. I had the whole website in there too.
Okay. Not a problem, not a problem at all. So again, today we are blessed beyond measure. Thank you so much, Jewel, for joining me
Thank
here today
you.
on The Stretch. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please get in touch. Young girls, get in touch with Jewel. Moms, parents, get in touch with Jewel. She's doing some phenomenal things. She's going to encourage your daughters to go into places they've never gone before. So I kid you not, Jewel, thank you so much. God bless you all, and thank you for joining us here on The Stretch. And always remember to take it to the max. Bye-bye.